From Staff and Wire reports December 2, 2017, Jimbo Fisher, who coached Florida State to its third national title in 2013 and opened this season with his team ranked in the top 5, is leaving to take the same job at Texas A&M. Fisher told university president John Thrasher on Friday that he was resigning to accept Texas A&M's offer. Fisher leaves Florida State after going 8,323 in 8 seasons. Besides the national championship, he also led the Seminoles to 3 ACC titles and 4 ACC Atlantic Division crowns. He will replace Kevin Sumlin, who was fired last Sunday after going 5,126 in 6 seasons at Texas A&M. Tennessee named Philip Fulmer athletic director and placed former AD John Currie on paid leave amid what has been a tumultuous and embarrassing coaching search. Fulmer is a Tennessee alum and a Hall of Famer who coached the Volunteers to a 1998 national title. Tennessee fired Butch Jones last month and was close to hiring Ohio State defensive coordinator Greg Schiano on Sunday as its next coach. That deal fell through amid a public backlash. Currie met Thursday with Washington State coach Mike Leach. Reports linked Oklahoma State's Mike Gundy and Purdue's Jeff Brom to Tennessee's vacancy, but both stayed with their teams. North Carolina State's Dave Doeren agreed to a new contract with the Wolfpack Thursday after speaking with Tennessee about its vacancy. Mississippi's program was handed a 2-year postseason ban and other penalties by the NCAA for its long-running rules violation case that included a charge of lack of institutional control. Ole Miss had already self-imposed a bowl ban this season and had hoped to avoid it next season. Former Ole Miss coach Hugh Freeze will be suspended for 2 conference games during the 2018 season if he's employed as a head coach at another school. The ruling said that Freeze promoted an atmosphere of rules compliance, but that he failed to monitor his staff. The stiffest penalty was for former staff member David Saunders, who received an 8-year show cause for helping arrange fraudulent ACT scores. The Rebels will also be on probation for 3 more years through November 30, 2020 and must pay a financial penalty of about $179,000. Ole Miss must also vacate wins that ineligible athletes participated in, which could take some time to sort out. Bobby Hauck is back as the football coach at Montana, a program he led to 3 FCS national championship games. Hauck, who replaces Bob Stitt, agreed to a 3-year contract. Other terms were not released. He was the head coach at UNLV from 2014 and spent the past 3 seasons as special teams coordinator and associate head coach at San Diego State. NFL Aaron Rodgers' return is a go. The Green Bay Packers' 2-time MVP quarterback, who was placed on injured reserve after breaking his right collarbone October 15 against Minnesota, is on track to practice Saturday and could return for the Deck 17 game at Carolina. Rodgers had surgery on October 19 and was placed on IR the following day. NFL rules allow teams to bring back 2 players off IR. They must be sidelined for a minimum of 6 weeks. Friday marked 6 weeks for Rodgers. The Packers have lost 4 of backup quarterback Brett Hundley's 5 starts. The NFL is committing $90 million over the next 7 years to social justice causes in a plan that involves players. In a memo to the 32 teams, the league unveiled what it calls a new and expanded program of community improvement. Each team will contribute to the plan. Oakland guard Gabe Jackson was fined $30,387 by the league for making contact with official Laird Hayes during a brawl in the Raiders' victory over the Broncos last Sunday. Jackson was ejected from the game after running toward the melee and hitting into Hayes, who was knocked to the ground. Also, Broncos safety Darian Stewart was fined $24,309 for his hit on Raiders wide receiver Amari Cooper, who suffered a concussion and will sit out Sunday's game against the Giants. Carolina Panthers defensive end Charles Johnson was suspended without pay for the next 4 games for violating the league policy on performance-enhancing substances. The Arizona Cardinals signed defensive lineman Corey Peters to a 3-year contract extension that could keep him with the team through 2020. NBA Cavaliers guard Iman Shumpert is expected to be sidelined 68 weeks following surgery on his left knee. Heat center Hassan Whiteside has a second bone bruise on his left knee and thinks he'll need at least a couple of weeks before he can play again. Pelicans forward Anthony Davis was fined $25,000 for verbally abusing a game official and failing to leave the court in a timely manner following his ejection from Wednesday's game against Minnesota. Miscellany Ryan Donato's hat-trick led the Harvard hockey team to a 6-2 victory over Quinnipiac 681-350 CAC in Hamden, Con. Michael Lackey made 41 saves for the Crimson 351-330. Justin Brautigham's goal in the second overtime gave Messiah a 32 win over Brandeis in the NCAA Men's Soccer Division III National Semi-Finals in Greensboro, North Carolina. Sam Vinson and Andrew Allen scored for Brandeis. Also in Greensboro, Allison Liu scored in the 85th minute as the Williams College women's soccer team advanced to Saturday's Division III national title game against the University of Chicago with a 10 win over Hardin-Simmons. Lindsey Vonn fell and crashed into the safety netting on the final turn in the women's season-opening World Cup downhill in Lake Louise, Alberta, handing Austria's Cornelia Huetter the victory. Vonn was able to get up and ski to the bottom of the course. The Chicago Blackhawks placed goaltender Corey Crawford on injured reserve and recalled goaltender Jean-François Berube from Rockford of the AHL. U.S. bobsledder Ryan Bailey was banned for 2 years for what he contends was an inadvertent doping violation, ending the former track and field medalist's bid to compete in the Pyeongchang Olympics. The Court of Arbitration for Sport agreed with the U.S. anti-doping agency's stance that a 6-month ban Bailey served earlier this year was not enough. Bailey was part of the U.S. team that won a silver medal in the 4x100-meter relay at the London Games in 2012. That medal was stripped years later following the doping conviction of relay teammate Tyson Gay. Bailey, still angry about forfeiting that silver, turned to bobsledding last year with hopes of getting back to the Olympics. Three-time U.S. champion Michael Weiss and three-time U.S. pairs winners Kyoko Ina and John Zimmerman were elected to the U.S. Figure Skating Hall of Fame. Also elected were Claire Ferguson, the first female president of U.S. figure skating, and choreographer Sarah Kawahara. Zane Waterman and Calvin Crawford scored 14 points apiece to lead Manhattan 34-08's 7,054 win over Holy Cross 24 on Friday in the inaugural Basketball Hall of Fame Belfast Classic in Northern Ireland. The Jaspers are the first college basketball team to win a regular season game in Europe. Caleb Green had 11 points for Holy Cross.